Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Pixel and welcome to the Sapphire Tech YouTube channel. With the recent release of patch 1.5 for Cyberpunk 2077, aka the next gen update, I thought that now would be a good time to take another quick look at the performance of the game once again on our Sapphire Nitro Plus RX 6800 XT graphics card alongside the AMD Ryzen 7 5800X CPU whilst at a 1440p resolution. All the footage in this video was recorded using AMD Relive, and the performance overlay is provided by Radeon statistics server, so let's get right to it. With the release of patch 1.5, we now have access to an in-game benchmark, so that's what I'm going to be using for our initial performance tests. First of all, I ran the benchmark using both the low and ultra quality presets in order to get a decent idea of the gulf between the performance and presentation. At ultra settings we saw an average of around 90 frames per second, whereas on low settings we saw that number double all the way up to 180 FPS. Surprisingly, the game still looks pretty decent when using low settings, however, with so much headroom available combined with the heavy CPU limitations whilst in the most densely populated areas, I think it would be a shame to not aim much higher in terms of the visuals. For that reason, I set myself the challenge of trying to hit 120 FPS whilst using the in-game benchmark in order to find that nice balance between the frame rate and visuals. Now, to be fair, whilst the benchmark is certainly useful, it's not entirely accurate to real world performance. I found that my in-game averages were pretty much around 20% lower than the benchmark would have you believe. However, I don't really think that's entirely unreasonable, and thanks to Radeon anti-lag now working with DirectX 12 titles, I found the game to feel both incredibly smooth and responsive on my FreeSync enabled monitor. For these optimized settings, I disabled film grain and depth of field mainly due to personal preference. I lowered volumetric fog resolution down to high, volumetric cloud quality down to medium, screen space reflections also down to medium, along with color precision. Everything else pretty much stayed maxed out barring ray tracing, which I kept disabled. When placed side by side, it can be surprisingly difficult to pick out the quality differences between the ultra presets and these optimized settings, and yet we often see a decent 30+% uplift to performance. Whilst it would be somewhat possible to focus even higher frame rates than what we do here, due to the heavy CPU limitations that you're likely going to face in certain areas, especially whilst having traffic and NPC density maxed out, I don't actually recommend pushing the settings any lower if you're going to be running the game on a high-end system. Obviously, if you're primarily GPU bound, then by all means lower settings, though do bear in mind the settings that I've already lowered to get us here are pretty much the ones with the biggest impact on performance, so I'd actually suggest that you try out something like Fidelity FX Super Resolution first, aka FSR. All in all, I have to say that patch 1.5 is looking to be that big step forward in the right direction that we've all been waiting for. I can say that I will finally be blasting my way through Night City, and I can't wait. I've been holding off for well over a year at this point, and I'm very glad that I did. Not only does the game feel much nicer to play, it's less buggy, and the balance changes have made the combat and difficulty much more interesting than it was previously. I'm likely going to look into creating a couple more videos on Cyberpunk in the coming days and weeks, as I'm very excited to finally experience everything that it has to offer. For now though, that's going to be me done for today. I'll leave a full run of the benchmark running using our optimized settings at the end of the video, but first I'm going to have to ask you all to please slap that subscribe button and ring that bell if you've not done so already, and if you've got any questions, suggestions or feedback, you can let us know by leaving us a message in the comment section below this video. And as always, if you've liked this video, please let us know by leaving us a like. With all that said, from myself and everybody here at the Sapphire Tech YouTube channel, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, we'll catch you later. Bye bye.
minute. Seriously.